Hi guys, this is a video demonstration of how to use a TI-84 Plus. To begin with, whatever page you're in, a lot of people don't know that if you want to get back to the original, you just press second and quit. That goes back to the home page, if that's what we want to call it. So the home page is basically where you're doing all your sums that you'd normally do. And the enter button is the same as you solve and things like that. There's a clear button there. If we want to go back to a problem that we put in previously, we can go second entry and it will bring it up again, or we can keep pressing upwards and it will just keep filtering through my last history. Clears the single problem we've just done. If we keep pressing it just clears the whole lot. We want to look at graphing. So whenever we're graphing on a TI, we're pretty much going to be using this y equals function here, which brings up a whole lot of blank, hopefully, functions that we can input, and it's all around an input of y, and we can put in up to, I think, if we scroll down, we can put in 10. That's the most that this will handle. So we're just going to play around with just putting a pretty simple function in, just a quadratic. We're going to go with 3x squared plus 2x take 1. So far we're pretty cool, and we just want to put in, we want to see what that looks like if we graph it. So it graphs it pretty well. Now the reason why this appeared quite easily on the screen was because the numbers that I chose were fairly standard low numbers. As a default, the graph will have a window, or x and y axes, as -10 to 10 for the x axes and -10 to 10 for the y-axis, hence why it worked out pretty well. If I wanted to zoom in and get a little bit more detail, because I can kind of see where the 0 points are here, if I want to get some more detail though, I've got a number of options. I can do it by hand. I can just change these to be -5 and 5 and -5 and 5, graph it, that'll zoom in. Or I can be a bit fancy and I can use a little function called zoom box, and what that does is it gives me a little pointer. Gives me a little pointer that I can start building a box from. So if I start up the top right corner and press enter, I can drag it across and down and it makes a box, and that will become my new window. Press enter and it zooms into that selection. Okay, so I can get a bit of a feeling about where these are. If I want some detail though, everything of my details and my calculations on my graph are going to be found in this little button here. So it's called trace, but it's also got a little calc button in here. So if I press trace, you'll see that instantly it'll trace the function. So I can scroll left and right on the function and it'll give me the x and y coordinates along there. So what I want to know is what the zeros are. So we notice that it's not very good at selecting exact values. So I want to get this y to equal 0. You can see that it's hovering pretty close to 0, so I'd have a guess and say it's 1. It's not very accurate. So what I want to do is use my calc function here. So I go second calc, and I've got a whole lot of selections here that I can use. I'm interested in finding the zeros. So number 2, zeros. And what I have to do is I have to tell it where to look. So it says find a left bound. So I've got to select an area that is left of the point that I'm looking for. So I've gone there, enter, and then it says select a right bound. So I'm selecting a point that's right of my point, enter. And then it says have a guess, and I go, yeah, have a guess. And it will find the exact solution, -1 and 0. Okay, I'll do that again for the other one over here. Second calc, 0. And if I want to find this one, my left boundary is going to be anywhere to the left of this point. It can be quite close or as far away as long as it's to the left of the point. My right boundary will be on the other side of it. I press enter and I press enter again for guess, and it gives me the exact solution. Okay, so this is obviously a third. It's rounded it off, but you have to use your own intuition here and conclude that that's a third and that is 0. Okay, that's our brief introduction to finding zeros and our graphing. Thank you.